I'm Anna, and today I'm going to be building an industrial loft using only the Sims 4 base game and the new Werewolves game pack. The build items in the Werewolf pack are pretty interesting, I think. It's kind of like a combination of rustic cabiny items and industrial items. Recently, I built a romantic A-frame cabin using more of the rustic items, but I've been really wanting to try out some of the industrial items too, so I decided to build this. I don't normally build very modern or industrial style buildings, so this was pretty far out of my comfort zone, but very new and very fun for me. I was thinking that this loft maybe was originally like two warehouses that were eventually combined into a home later on, so I tried to make the right side of the building look different than the left side using different windows and siding elements, and I think it turned out to have like a really nice effect. I love all the roof options in the Werewolf pack. There's a lot of colorful kind of metal roofs that I don't think you can see super well in this build, but there's openings in the roof for like natural light to come in, so depending on which one you use, it can look more like a skylight inside the building or like little dots of light throughout the interior of the house, which is pretty cool. I was having a bit of trouble deciding on what to do with the yard. I figured that a factory or a warehouse wouldn't have like a lush green lawn around it, so I wanted some concrete, but this was another one of those things that I don't have a ton of experience with, so I had to play around a bit to figure out what was going on, and I eventually ended up taking a break from it and coming back to it at the end because I could just feel myself getting stuck and wanted to look at it with fresh eyes later. I knew that I wanted to have some plant life outside the house, and I love those little birch trees with the vines growing over them that are just like put into random buckets. I think it's a little silly, but pretty cute. I ended up turning off my move objects cheat for some of the video because I wanted to avoid putting down furniture in any way that would make it unplayable. Since I've started doing this, my playtests have been so much smoother. Like, I'll put on the move objects cheat for decor mostly, but I've been trying to avoid it when placing objects that Sims can like actually interact with. I did playtest this house, and the only thing that I had to move was one of the hanging lights in the kitchen, which is not bad at all, I think. These stairs I was having a bit of trouble with because I wanted there to be no ceiling. Like, I wanted it to be an open kind of area, but I had to keep like adding a ceiling and removing a ceiling and then moving the stairs a bit. It ended up working out pretty well. I like this little catwalk thing on the top, but it was kind of tricky. I didn't really like there's this part when you go up the stairs where the like, I don't know what it's called, not the siding, but like this little border that goes in between the two levels doesn't wrap all the way around, and I couldn't figure out how to get it to work, so I tried to like incorporate it into the design. I don't know how well it turned out, but I think it's better than just kind of leaving it, I think. I did end up adding like this little square for a bathroom because I was trying to figure out where I would build a bathroom here, and I was having some trouble figuring it out, so I just added a new space, and it worked out pretty well. I've always wanted like a bedroom in like a loft area here. I think it's really cute. I don't know how much privacy you get, but I suppose if you're living here, it's kind of just like you and one other person maybe. Unless you're having like parties and stuff or guests, I can't see much of a need for the privacy. I also love these wooden beams. I tried to be on the outside of the house and the inside to have that kind of cohesion, but if you look close enough, they're not actually like straight up and down. They're kind of curved, which I think is really cool. I think it works really well for a building like this that maybe has been around for a long time and the weight is just settling on these beams. I love these rugs too. In my last build, that was the cabin, I used a lot of these rugs, but I used the version of them that were like pristine, and these ones are a little bit worn, which I like too. There's these big bookshelves that I've been trying to figure out a spot to put, and I just couldn't do it again in this build, so I used a small bookshelf, but there's one that comes with the Werewolf pack that looks like it's just like boards put up in between those wooden beams. It fits in super, super well. and it's really cool and I want to find a way to use it, but I can't quite get there. I don't know what all this little trinket stuff is on the chests here. I think like it just was kind of fun to me. I thought maybe, I don't know, some personal effects would be there, but I wanted them to look a little bit more rustic and like more enchanting maybe. I had some trouble with this bathroom too. I feel like bathrooms are one of the rooms I have to just kind of play around with to figure out how to get everything to fit right. Eventually I did end up just changing the shape of the room, which turned out pretty well, but it did take some trial and error there. The lights that I'm using here are the like painting lights that you can get through, I think, the art career. But I thought it had like a really cool, nice lighting for this room instead of just doing like overhead lights or something. I don't love the like wall lights that come with the base game that much that you would typically use in a bathroom, I think. So that was a nice alternative for me, I think. I also love these tables that come with this game. It looks like maybe an old desk with like a book underneath one of the legs. I think it's really charming. And it has all of these kind of like distressed paint looks that I think are really cool. I think the colors are super pretty that they picked. But the colors didn't quite vibe with what I was going for here. So I kept it like a standard wood tone, but I think in the future it might be kind of cool to do like a fun, colorful house like that. I feel like kitchens or something too that the layouts are kind of hard for me to figure out, but this one turned out pretty nice. When I'm placing decorative items on shelves in the kitchen, I've started moving the counters out of the room so that the items don't like snap onto the counters. It saved me a lot of frustration and time because I feel like before I was spending a ton of time like trying to change the angle of my camera and everything just to get things to sit on the shelves, and it turns out the solution is just to get rid of the counters. It sounds way too simple, and I'm embarrassed to say that it took me so long to figure out, but that is the best solution that I have come up with so far. I think I started doing it because I was watching like other people's shorts on YouTube or like TikToks or whatever, and I've noticed a lot of people were like putting things on counters and then moving the counter out of the way and then moving all the items back to get them placed exactly the way that they want. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a good idea. It's genius. People are just so smart. I feel like I've learned so much about building just from watching other people's videos. It's really fun. I think the Sims 4 building community is really great. I just love it. I love everybody. Y'all are amazing. I love this patchwork couch too. I feel like this would be the comfiest couch ever. Like, I just want to sit there and like slunk into it and play video games for 12 hours. It looks like that kind of couch, like the kind of couch that is in your friend's basement when you're growing up. I think it's delightful. So like I said before, I had to take a break when working on the outside of the house because I was starting to feel stuck. And when I came back to it, I decided to use the same kind of mindset that I usually have when I'm placing plants outside, which is to just choose a few key plants and use them over and over and over again. I found that this helps the lot look full, but not necessarily busy. Although I will say that the outside of this house does look a bit busy in my opinion. Kind of like playing on the edge of too busy, maybe. You can always remove the plants if they bug you in your builds. I wanted to add a lot of planters here because I figured someone with this many plants wouldn't like not want to grow vegetables too, or fruits. It'd be interesting to see if anyone actually plays with this, what kind of plants they end up putting in the pots and what that looks like. But here is the final product. I really love how it turned out, especially given that this was like one of my very first times trying out a building style that was more kind of industrial and contemporary. I think it turned out really well. So thank you for watching. If this is something that you enjoyed, please take a moment to like and subscribe and comment. This helps me know what you're into so I can make more videos like this. This house is also available on the gallery. My EA ID is in the description. So until next time, I hope you have a good rest of your day and week, and stay safe.